you want to know a little bit about me, I am a woman on a mission to end the tears. When I look at the news and I see the things that are going on, and I see the mothers and the aunts and the cousins and the left behind, it really is sad. And so, as one of the many do-gooders who are actually left cleaning up the mess that crime leaves behind, I thought it was maybe incumbent on me to just share some information with people that are still out there who are still choosing to choose street crime, to let you know that as the do-gooders, we are really, really, really tired. Today's lesson is all about the money. So if you are new here, welcome to my channel. Today's Street Saver tips. If you are out there and you are making bad choices, today's Street Saver tip is pay the IRS. It is tax season. If you are trapping and you are a hood dude and you are still out there in the streets, you need to give the people their money. So today we're going to talk about why us civilians want to retire. It's your choices that is costing us sleepless nights. You think the people at the crime scenes, the courthouses, the social workers, you think any of those people want to be down there? I can tell you they absolutely do not. But it is because of the criminal activity that is going on that all of us are probably not painters and bakers and all the other wonderful things we would love to be. Income, you need to pay the IRS. And you're like, ma'am, you're a civilian. You can't be serious. You don't have any idea what would happen if I tried to pay the IRS taxes on my ill-gotten income. I'm going to tell you what, according to the law, is going to happen if you don't. So let's take a look at what happens if you don't pay the IRS. Here we go. And don't give me that face. It's not my fault. They want their money. So you're going to have to give it to them. So here it is from 2014, IRS Publication 17. These are the people that the IRS would like to have a conversation with about their money. We got people who are doing bribes. We got people who are committing illegal activities. Yeah, that's you. See? Schedule C or Schedule CZE on that 1040 that you've probably already gone down there to the local tax preparer to fill out to get your income. Well, sir, if you did not include the income that you don't want the IRS to know about, they're going to have a conversation with you. That includes stolen property. So some of you may not be out there participating in certain street crimes. You think that you're just out there robbing people, or you're out there stealing, boosting, all of that. You need to report your income. So as you can see, there is some interesting case law on the subject, where the 16th Amendment, which allows Congress to levy an income tax, comes into conflict with the 5th Amendment, which includes the right against self-incrimination. See, I know that's what you're going to get to. You like, miss, you're a civilian. If I tell IRS about this money that I'm making out here on these streets, they are going to tell them other people in them alphabet agencies, and then I'm going to find myself doing a lot of time. Well, I'm telling you right now that, hey, there are some instances, given your circumstances, and we're going to talk about it, where it is absolutely advantageous for you to go down there to the IRS and tell them exactly how much money they may or may not be able to tie you to. So let's keep going. So the conclusion is, it would be absurd for us to exempt criminals when we make hard-paying citizens who work every day give up their money to the IRS. So yes, they do attack legal money. So here it is. So if you steal property, you must report its fair market value or return the good to its rightful owner within the same year. These somewhat obscure provisions from the IRS may seem funny, but they are absolutely valid case law that can get you additional time if you are charged with other criminal activity. So humorous as they may appear on the face, the statutes that are on the books have been on the books for years. And all of you people out there who enjoy watching those Scarface movies, you have Al Capone to thank for some of the reason why some of these laws exist on the books. So according to a Maryland-based tax preparer, all income from whatever source is taxable income, unless excluded by an act of Congress. I can guarantee you whatever you're doing has not been excluded by an act of Congress. You're not one of the satellite people. Now, everybody's always worried about them alphabet agencies out there, but I can guarantee you, if you know satellite people, if you know what I'm talking about, you can drop it in the comments and let people know exactly what I'm talking about. like to be on YouTube, so I'm not going to go any further than that. But I'm just telling you that your income has not been excluded by an act of Congress. So if you receive $500 to kill your neighbor's annoying rooster, that's all my people down here in the South with me, or you find $1 on the street, or you embezzle from your employers, we're going to see in one of our later examples, you have to report that income, including your income that your baby mama may get from flipping burgers at McDonald's. So, in the rare break, for those who turn around and dutifully report their ill-gotten gains to the government, there are some exceptions. So here, people who are convicted or expected to be convicted of embezzlement will report to avoid getting prosecuted for tax evasion on the proceeds. So, as we noted earlier, there is an exemption against self-incrimination if you take yourself down there to Uncle Sam and give them the money. That's how much they care about collecting their cut. They know what you are out here doing. And if you find a way to get yourself on down there to the IRS and tell them what you're doing, you can avoid what could be coming next. And I guarantee what's coming next is a lot of time. They can also deduct that from their restitution. So, should you file? Well, there are some circumstances where it probably would be advantageous for you to file. Now, given some of the things that have been going on recently in the news, I think it might be important to point out if you have people or business associates who have recently been convicted of a crime. Definitely if they have been convicted in federal court. Definitely if they have been accused of racketeering or organized criminal activity. You might want to declare any income that can be connected to them or you down to the IRS. If you know someone who may have recently possibly lost their life, there are lots of people that are leaving their mothers in tears behind their criminal activity. Those are the mothers and the aunts and the girlfriends and the wives that I am kids that are left behind, that thus do-gooders who would really like to retire. We like to go paint. Some of us may have a guitar sitting in our garage somewhere that we can't ever play because we're always at work, thanks to having to clean up behind criminal activity. And that goes to the people at the court, that goes to the people down at the social work office. There are so many people who are affected by your criminal activity, and we would all like a break. So who should file? If you're possibly already indicted. If you know you're going to be going to court soon, there's a thing called a superseding indictment. The feds can come in and literally add more charges such that when you get out of state jail, the feds are waiting to take you down to the federal prison to do more time. So there are some people who have some circumstances where 100% would be in your best interest to file your illegal income on your taxes. But don't take my word for it. Here it is. Not reporting illegal income is a tax crime. And it's not just a bullshit tax crime either, might I add. So remember how we said in our early example that if you decide to steal from your employer, that could possibly be a problem for you? Well, here's our friend. Let's call him Mr. Bankerman. Mr. Bankerman decided between the years of 2014 and 2021 to embezzle $870,000 from his bank. I am pretty sure the people that he stole from were very angry that this 56-year-old man from Grand Rapids, Michigan, decided to rob the bank and be the inside man. So while the amount is not particularly large, as we will see when I do the deep dive series on why street crime is stupid, taxes is one of the biggest reasons why street crime is stupid, it no doubt caused quite a bit of problems. So the judge has a sentencing guideline, and given the amount of time that he committed this crime, basically the amount of opportunity he had to stop, and the amount of money that was stolen, he is looking at upwards of 30 years. But here's the deal. Even though federal officials didn't provide details on the tax revenue loss, the man's guilty plea could add another 5 years in federal prison for tax charges. That is correct. So in addition to the 30, you may get an extra 5. Here we go. Uncle Sam can add 5. That's right, count them, 5 to any crime that generates income where you didn't give them their cut. So you may be thinking, well, what kinds of crimes should report their taxable income? Here's the requirement. First up on the alphabetical list is bribes. It says if you receive a bribe, that goes to rich people. See, they don't just want you street people. They also want the rich people. Anybody who is out there getting illegal money, they want their cut. What about the electronics that fell off the back of the truck? Yes, that counts as taxable income as well under the found property entry. If you find and keep property that does not belong to you, that has been lost or abandoned, aka a treasure trove, it is taxable income. Oh, all you people who are enjoying football season and the Super Bowl, don't forget about those gambling winnings. Nowadays, thanks to the Supreme Court ruling, allowing more legal sports betting across the United States, in these betting cases, there is usually a tax statement that helps winning taxpayers and the IRS know the taxable amount. But if you're going down to the corner and betting with your local bookie, and that person and maybe their cell phone gets taken up, you should have reported that income as well. So yes, you should report the money you're winning with your bookie. And finally, if you don't want to end up on that same boat that sailed Al Capone to Alcatraz, which is now a national park for the record, the IRS reminds us that all income from illegal activities, such as dealing illegal drugs, that is not included on your Schedule 1 1040 form or your Schedule C, or if you're reporting self-income, is a criminal activity. So what did we learn, ladies and gentlemen? Uncle Sam wants his cut. If you're going to be out here doing illegal crimes, if you're going to be out here committing illegal activities, you need to report that, especially if you are already under indictment, if somebody you know has currently been convicted of a federal crime, if someone you know is currently possibly being investigated, you need to report that income. But miss, again, you're not missing it. Like the DEA, the ATF, the FBI, the DOJ, all the alphabet agencies, if I go down to the IRS and get them they cut, they are going to come knocking on my door. Remember, let's go back to the Fifth Amendment, because amazingly enough, they did give you a teeny tiny out if you are already waist deep in it. Here's your out. So, ma'am, are you sure those other federal people is not going to come and pick me up? Well, I can't necessarily guarantee you they won't come pick you up, but let's talk about it. It says not to worry. Although federal investigation branches work together on cases like the FBI and the IRS, tax privacy is paramount, says the IRS. In fact, it's part of the IRS's Taxpayers Bill of Rights. Did you know there was a Taxpayer Bill of Rights? No, you didn't. And so if you are out here committing crimes and you are in street and criminal activity, and you don't have any clue about all the laws that can cost you your freedom, that can cause your mother to be on the news crying in front of a federal courthouse or in front of a state courthouse, you need to pick another thing to do with your life. It says the IRS says taxpayers have the right to expect that any information they provide to the IRS will not be disclosed unless authorized by the taxpayer or by law. In the event of an unlawful disclosure, expect the appropriate action to be taken against the employee, the return preparers, or any others who wrongfully disclose taxpayer information. Plus, federal tax law prevents federal employees from sharing federal tax information. That is covered under the Internal Revenue section. Now, if they go to a court and they get a warrant because there is an ongoing investigation, like I said, because people you know are currently being investigated, then you probably should go ahead and make it your business. Make it your business to go ahead and declare your income, pay the taxes, so you won't be facing an extra $5. The bottom line is the IRS wants you to voluntarily obey tax laws, which means the agency gets the proper cut of your earnings, whether they are legal or not. So, basically like a casino, ladies and gentlemen. What did we learn? Pay the VIG. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you are an aunt or a cousin or a relative of somebody who's still out there in the streets, it's time for them to get out. There are people who need help. The link is in the description.